Hey guys, subscribe for daily content. And if you're shopping for gear, make sure you check out the description for the newest items at some of the very best online retailers. There's also links for some of the items that I personally recommend. Thanks!
What's going on YouTube? Metal Complex here, and today I'm going to share with you guys my opinion on the very best Kaiser knives under $100. You guys have always pointed out to me when I do my, best knives under X amount, you've pointed out to me that I'm leaving out a lot of Kaisers. And yeah, you're right. Kaiser does really, really well in this department specifically. So I've got 10 here that are all available in some shape or form. I will link them down in the description. You guys can check those out if you want to. It does help my channel when you use those links, but that's entirely up to you. Thanks so much to my patrons for supporting me. Some of the knives that you'll see in this video are actually more expensive versions. That's just the version that I have, but I'll make sure and link the sub $100 version down below. Also, my very favorite Kaiser knife under $100 is actually in the #1 spot. Everything else is just not really in any particular order. Let's start off here with number 10, and that's the Kaiser Brett. I love this knife for a few different reasons. The main reason is the fact that it's a G10 integral. This is such a rare thing. We don't see this basically at all. Reich has one and maybe one or two other companies, but this is pretty much a non-existent thing. Now, you're not really gaining a whole lot with the whole integral thing, meaning the frame is a single piece of material rather than two different pieces of material that are screwed together, right? Or scale and a non-show side, or front show side, front scale and a rear scale. What is wrong with me? Anyways, the Kaiser Brett, really, really great. This one still has a little bit of lock stick, but I'm okay with it. The other one that I got from Kaiser actually didn't have any at all. Really, really awesome for a button lock. But mainly, I just love the fact that it's one piece. It is such a clean looking knife. It's such a legitimately good EDC knife. And honestly, the price on it at $89 with a combination of G10 and 154cm, it's just really hard to beat. There's really nothing else specifically competitive with this, like made the same way at the same price. I mean, there is nothing. This is the only thing of its kind at $89. Is just really, really good. I truly love this knife, and I think if you pick it up, you will definitely love it too. Moving on here, let's talk about number 9, the Kaiser Momo. Yes, I know the one over here is M390 and Timascus and costs way more, but they do make, it's basically just out here to show you the size, right? They do definitely make a budget or a more budget-friendly version of this knife. The one up top, the large one, this is aluminum and 154cm, and that one also is a little over $100. I'll make sure the links go to everything, but these are so much fun, so cool. For front flippers, it's amazing. They start at $75 and come standard in Nitro V, which is a blade steel that Kaiser really, really loves in this territory and is an exceptional blade steel for the money. Absolutely. What I love about these is the big, aggressive, sort of tactical kitchen knife look. But it actually ends up working as an EDC knife, especially the large one. That's the one that I personally love the most. I wish it had jimping up here, but honestly, I'm okay with it. You can actually use this knife for food prep, being as, when you lay this down. Let's see, let's use this. If you lay it down flat on a, like the first part of the edge to contact is actually right there at the back, the starting or the initial cutting edge, which is really cool. Obviously, it's not optimized as a kitchen knife, but if you are camping or maybe grilling or whatever, and you need to use something like, in a pinch, this will work. It's also ridiculously stylish. I love how this knife looks. And as somebody who does not like front flippers, this is one of my favorite front flippers ever. The action is ridiculously satisfying. Even on the smaller one, super satisfying thanks to this huge lever up here. Really, really great. Just love it. I love how it looks. I love how it carries. It's just a really fun one. I think these, like I said, start at about $75, both for the large and the small one. Definitely super duper recommendable. Let's move on here and talk about the Kaiser Milit. Now, the one I'm going to show you is way over 100. But again, the Milit and Mini Milit do come in a sub $100 form, and they feel, in terms of action and overall quality, they feel exactly the same. This one just has all of the super duper fancy stuff, right? You'll also, on the standard ones, you'll have a liner lock. This is a frame lock. but you can definitely still buy the frame lock version if you want to. This just has a super friendly and very organic design. It is so unbelievably easy to manipulate. The action, for some reason, on the Milit feels superior to almost everything in Kaiser's line. I don't know why. I don't know what it is that is special about the Milit, but both the frame lock version and the liner lock version have inexplicably good action. It's also just a really, really good utilitarian blade. The standard versions of these knives, I believe, are Nitro V, and I think they also have versions in 154cm. Honestly, they have tons of different versions. They've got, S35EN, S45EN, M390, like there's a whole bunch of them. Crazy. And they have, like the basic versions are going to be G10 with a different color of G10 inlay. Some of the weirdest color combinations, honestly, that I have seen from a company making knives at this price point, but it is fun if you're looking for something more bright and colorful. They definitely do that. And you can find even more on the Kaiser website, which I'll also try and link down in the description. But not only is the Milit one of the best Kaiser knives of all time, under $100, it's honestly one of the best budget knives, period. I mean, it was included in that video that I did, the top 15 greatest of all time budget knives, updated for 2025. The Milit really is absolutely that great and is absolutely worth picking up. It's just a little bit awkward to look at. Moving on here to number 7, we cannot do this list and not talk about the Kaiser Drop Bear, starting at $69 giggity with Nitro V as the steel. This is probably, it's kind of like, now when I say this, people always get bent out of shape. It's kind of like Kaiser's Bug Out, right? It's kind of their like straightforward, quintessential utilitarian EDC knife, but it's just, in my opinion, it's better. It's a little taller, both in the handle and in the blade, probably a little bit shorter, but it does work. Kaiser clutch locks, you have the ambidextrous locking system, you have a straightforward utilitarian blade shape. It's probably better to refer to this as Kaiser's Elementum than it is to say the Kaiser's version of the Bug Out. It just works. Straightforward. If you're new to the knife world, you're trying to find something that's good and utilitarian, and you're just kind of like put off by all the weird and wild and crazy shapes, the Drop Bear is definitely the way to go because it doesn't have anything in terms of like visually offensive lines. It also, those lines also translate very, very well in terms of ergonomic comfort, and just comfort while you're using the knife. I guess that would be ergonomic comfort, but it's easy to manipulate. It's easy to carry. It's just all of that. There's a bunch of different versions of it. $69, absolutely. Moving on here to number 6. Kaiser has one of my favorite budget large folding knives. Now, there's nothing crazy going on here with the Kaiser Justice in terms of the locking system. It's just a straightforward liner lock, but it's got a big blade. This is a much larger knife. It's approaching 9 inches. I think it's about 8.75 inches overall, if I'm not mistaken. It's the only one on the list that doesn't come standard with either Nitro V or 154cm. This is actually Bowler N690, which is nothing incredibly special outside of it being ridiculously corrosion resistant. So if you've ever had a problem with that, with rust or corrosion, and you like larger knives, the N690 is definitely a great steel. And it honestly, like the edge retention is fairly comparable to 154cm if I'm not mistaken. Anyways, this is a big, beefy liner lock flipper. I really like it. I feel like we don't get a lot of big, beefy knives that are still, sized to where you can actually carry it and enjoy it. The Justice is absolutely that. It really nails it for people looking for that straightforward, classic knife, but just bigger, and you want the flipper action, right? $73 for that is where it starts. I think the Blue Jeans Micarta version is the one that's available right now. I wish they would make more of these. Maybe Kaiser has more on their website. But yeah, Kaiser Justice, that's always been one of my favorites. Really, really enjoy that knife. Moving on here to number 5. Once again, you're going to be seeing a version of this knife that is much more expensive, but Kaiser does make a liner lock version of the Veraritos or Veraritos. It's probably Veraritos. That sounds more correct. But the liner lock version, much like the difference between the frame lock version and liner lock version of the Milit, there is no difference in terms of the feeling of quality and action. You're still utilizing a detent ball there. But the Veraritos is absolutely, it's one of the best. I did a video called The Best Kaiser Knives of All Time with no price limitation, and the Veraritos definitely is way up there, if not absolutely the best. This is such, I believe this is a Lundquist design. This is such a good knife. And that access to the opening hole, which once the blade is deployed, turns into a lock-in position for your index finger, or if you're choked up, I think that the middle finger there. But it works so well. $69 entry price, giggity. A lot of that. The Kaiser likes that number. And sorry. I know Kaiser's gonna watch this, and I have to assume they're gonna laugh at it. But also comes standard in Nitro V. Very, very good, very utilitarian, very like comfortable, a good size, right? Not too big, not too small. Really, really good. I'm surprised they haven't done an XL version of this or a small version of it, but I do absolutely love the Veraritos. Moving on here to number 4, we have to talk about the Laconico and Kaiser Gemini. It's a classic. They actually still have a version of this that you can pick up right now. I think on Blade HQ, the one I saw was the Ultim and Black Nitro V, but there might be different versions on the Kaiser website. This starts off at $72. Flat ground blade, very, very classic traditional blade profile. Like you have like I said, the flat ground blade. But this is classic Ray Laconico, and it's also classic Kaiser. It's also a design that visually is not super duper wild and crazy. And, you know, when you're newer, you step into the knife world and it's just like everything just looks like a freaking rainbow octopus pine cone. It's just so bizarre. This is a visually inoffensive knife, and it looks like a classic pocket knife. It's not really trying to be anything crazy, and that's Ray Laconico. If you look at Ray Laconico's designs, typically that is the case. Straightforward liner lock on this version. There are other versions, obviously. Liner lock with the flipper tab, nice ergonomics, good size, not too big, not too small. It's just kind of knife. It's a very knife-shaped knife, if that makes sense. But it is great. It legitimately is one of Kaiser's best knives, and it has continued to be. I mean, I don't know how old the Gemini is. The Gemini might have actually been the very first Kaiser knife that I ever looked at. Really, really awesome stuff. Moving on here to number 3. You can't make this list without talking about the Corrant, which also comes in at $69. Wouldn't you know? Nitro V, standard, and then you have G10. The Kaiser Corrant definitely has a more polarizing look, kind of like a, I don't know, some of the versions of this it's like something that, like a vehicle I would see in Cyberpunk, you know? Especially some of the retro video game versions. The Corrant is a plunge lock or a button lock, which Kaiser does do a good job with. Sometimes these, especially with the Corrant, it's a little bit kind of crunchy. It seems like the travel distance for the button is just a little bit more. That was really my only complaint with it. It's nice and slicey, very easy to manipulate. Again, not a too big or too small sized object. It's just good. It's just a straightforward, good knife. At $69 with the Nitro V entry steel, it's honestly excellent. That's something that I really enjoy about Kaiser knives at this price point, is that the blade steels that they choose are not your typical 9CR 18 MOV or D2 or anything. They choose better blade steels, right? 14C28N has kind of taken over, right? But a lot of companies still kind of default to 9CR, and it's like, the stuff that Kaiser, like Nitro V and 154CM and N690, those are all, in my opinion, those are superior steels. Really, really enjoy the balance there. So Corrant, definitely well deserving of the number 3 spot. Coming in at number 2, a knife that did not get the proper information in the review. There was one key element actually left out when I reviewed this knife. This is the Kaiser Task. $69 once again. And an entry steel, or the only, I don't think they make a premium version of this, was 154CM, which is great. So this is a straightforward, again, a not too big, not too small, straightforward utilitarian EDC profile. Really love that blade shape. Awesome for stuff like draw cuts. I do a lot of that stuff throughout the day. One of the key elements here that I missed in the review is the adjustable thumb stud. I was pointing out in the review, I went back and watched my own review of this, which you're probably seeing a video of it right now. I was talking about not being able to access that slot to do a reverse flick. And I was like, oh, that's disappointing. So the slot wasn't intended for that. The slot was intended so that you could adjust the thumb stud. You can actually unscrew it and slide it so that if your hand is bigger or smaller, you have a different optimal engagement zone for that thumb stud. The Task will work. I mean, you can literally customize that experience, which is really, really cool. This is I personally like the Task more than the Drop Bear, and this is not exactly the same thing as the Drop Bear, but it's very, very comparable. I like the look of it better, I like the blade shape better. It's just got a little more sauce, but it's a little more catered to it's a little bigger. It's a little more catered to my, EDC preferences. But a few different versions of this knife, and you've got a little, I think it's like 69 to 75-ish, something like that. Maybe a little bit more for some of the versions. But the Kaiser Task, I feel like, is often overlooked, and it's one that you guys brought up, and you're like, why isn't the Task in the greatest, budget knives of all time? I don't think it's quite one of the greatest budget knives of all time, but if I had extended that that video to like the top 30 or the top 40, it definitely would be. It really is great, and it's absolutely one of the best Kaiser knives ever, under $100. And finally, number one, what's the best Kaiser knife under $100? You guys already know what it is. It's the Sheepdog. Now, again, this version of it, brass and 3V, this version is over $100, but they absolutely make versions of this knife both mini and normal sized for anywhere from $69 giggity once again to $99. Full size, small, button lock, liner lock, flipper tab, non-flipper. There's so many different versions. Personally, my favorite version is either the liner lock version, the button lock version, or the clutch lock version. They also have a clutch lock version of this knife. Any of those without the flipper tab. This knife has that cool personality. It's got that big, tall blade. Oftentimes when you get a knife that's got a big, choppy, goofy blade like this, it's more like, oh, it's just fun to carry. It's actually kind of cumbersome or slows me down when I cut. Not this guy. The geometry on the Sheepdog blade is so good. It is so comfortable, especially the non-flipper versions. That choil's in exactly the right place. I love the jimping here. I absolutely love the Strider or Spyderco style access to the blade on these versions that don't have thumb studs. And listen, if you don't like the thumb studs, or if you don't like the opening hole, you can get it with a thumb stud. I think one version has a thumb stud and opening hole combination, or you can just get a flipper, or maybe it's like flipper thumb stud combination. I can't remember. They have so many different versions of this knife. And, Sheepdog knives, the original, that's where the design comes from. This was a genius collaboration. This knife looks cool. It is super comfortable. It's such a joy to carry. They make a bajillion different versions of it. I love the Sheepdog. It is my favorite knife from Kaiser that is available under $100. The mini one's great. I think they even make a supersized version of this knife. I don't know if that version is under $100, but it's so good. And the standard blade steel on this, 154 cm. And it's as close to a perfect, cool factor knife that's actually usable as you could ask for. And I love the Sheepdog, the blade profile, which is a sheep's foot blade. But it just works so well. It's great for slicing. You've got a little bit of a tip here, but the draw cuts and everything, it's just wonderful. I absolutely love this knife. And honestly, I have owned so many different versions of it. I have, a titanium one in the case as well. But I've given away all of my budget versions, and I wish that I hadn't. I wish that I had kept at least one, of each different type of locking system, because the knife is truly such a joy. Highly, highly recommendable. That's going to be it today, guys. Wow, we did that in under 20 minutes. I hope you guys enjoyed. Let me know if you think I left anything off the list. Please check out the links in the description so that you can check out all of the different versions of these knives that are available. I'll make sure that it goes to all price ranges, but specifically we'll definitely showcase the versions of these knives that are under $100. Please make sure to follow me on Instagram at metal_complex. If you enjoyed this video, leave a like. If you'd like to check out my other content, I do of course have lots of videos of knives that are either expensive or inexpensive that I do or don't like, so check those out. If you enjoy all my content, go ahead and click on that Metal Complex logo right there and subscribe, because there's definitely more coming. Thanks again for watching, everybody, and have a great day.